Hey everybody, it's Christine here for Gluten is Gone. And today I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about something that's bothered me ever since I've been gluten-free. Being gluten-free isn't, it's a diet, but it's more of a diet restriction, not like a weight loss diet like Atkins or something like that. Diet and exercise is something that's always been really important to me, and a lot of people will now be like, oh, well, you must be skinny just because you don't eat gluten. But there's a lot more to it than that, and sometimes it's really insulting when people want to say like, oh, it's easy for you, you don't eat gluten. Gluten isn't some like magic thing that makes you get fat. In fact, I'm sure if it was, there would already be like a billion-dollar industry eliminating it. But I think what being gluten-free does, and why it can be a good diet option for people, is that it makes you think about everything you put into your body, down to what ingredients is it made out of, where was it made, how is it processed, all the things like that. And it makes you become super aware of the food you're putting into your body. And I think a lot of times people take it for granted. You are at a friend's party and someone's brought in food and you just grab some and you don't necessarily think about everything that went into that food like you have to when you're gluten-free. So I think in that respect it can be a great way to diet. It also requires a lot of self-discipline. I think the biggest part of people being on a diet regimen is you need self-discipline to keep out and carry out the diet. Not eating certain foods. Well, when you're gluten-free, you have to not eat certain foods all the time, and I think you really build that self-discipline, and it's easier to apply it to even gluten-free foods that you can't eat, but maybe you shouldn't eat. But it's definitely not a miracle diet. In fact, you have to be careful if you do go gluten-free, because if you simply replace gluten foods with the gluten-free version, you probably will gain weight. Most of the gluten-free versions of things like bread, baked goods, and things like that are actually a lot more caloric because they have a lot more butter and eggs in them to help them bind. So you really do want to be careful about that. But I think that a lot of people see being gluten-free as a great diet option. It's just because it does require you to really think about all the food you're putting into your body. But definitely don't insult someone who works really hard to be gluten-free because it is a dietary restriction for them, and definitely, don't underestimate that person probably works really hard on exercise and things like that too. Being gluten-free isn't the only thing that will get you there, but it definitely helps and can make you a lot more aware. But it's also really hard, and I think that's why most people, even people with celiacs, have a hard time being 100% gluten-free. But I hope this helps, and I will see you guys next time. Thanks.